guys, this is the RetrofloraPodcast. I'm Brenda.
And I'm Charmy, and we're just two crazy sisters with an opinion and a channel.
If you like true crime, conspiracies, and supernatural crap, then this is your channel. It's spooky season!
It's finally October, y'all.
I love spooky season. I love being scared. I love being, well, I'm not gonna say I love being chased because I don't actually run. I just go, ah, and like,
I know, I want to go to Halloween Horror Nights, but I hear the lines are so long.
Yeah, no, I had a friend who went last year and she was so mad because she only got in like 2 mazes.
The entire night.
Yeah, the entire night. And
yeah,
also, when I go to places like that, I need a group of like 10 of us because just 2 people, just me and Charmy, it's not going to work. Like, we're going to I'm be huddled up in somebody else's group. Like,
no.
Today, we're talking about Ouija boards.
From the movie Ouija.
Yeah, them spirit talking boards. Don't play with them. But you guys, I'm not gonna lie, doing research on Ouija boards, some freaky stuff has been happening. I've been hearing my name being whispered and all that stuff, so...
At night?
Yeah. I hope you enjoy this. I might be haunted now.
Now, I remember I went to Ross one time and I saw this Ouija board, but it was Stranger Things themed, and I'm like, why is it Stranger Things themed? There is no Ouija board in Stranger Things. It makes no sense.
Stranger Things.
They don't use it.
They're gonna get some money from the cult, so here we go.
Without further ado, let's get into this.
So what is a Ouija board? A Ouija board, or talking board, or spirit board, or witch board,
there's a lot of names.
It really is a flat board marked with the Latin alphabet, the numbers 0 through 9, the words yes, no, goodbye, and various symbols, patterns, or graphics. A planchette, which is a small heart-shaped piece of wood or plastic with a hole in the center. The more modern ones have holes in the center, the other ones didn't have holes in the center, so it was just kind of just pointing. And we all know the hole in the center was to see what it was pointing on. It was used as a movable pointer to spell out the message on the Ouija board during a seance. And if you don't know what a seance is, it is an attempt to talk to the dead, spirits, or demons.
If you don't know what seance is, you've been living under a rock.
Or you're just not into the occult and creepy things, so I can understand. Maybe not, I'm sorry, I don't know how you don't know what a seance is.
Yeah.
Maybe you're a kid. You shouldn't be listening to this. So why were people trying to communicate with the dead, you ask?
Boredom.
Well, it is because of spiritualism, the spiritualism movement. Spiritualism is the belief that spirits are able to communicate with the living by a medium. The earliest record of spiritualism goes back to 1796. And I think that earliest record going back is just when the name spiritualism was used. It probably back in the days, people were probably trying to communicate with spirits. But it became popular in the 1800s, 19th century. It became extremely popular after the Civil War because families wanted to communicate with their loved ones who had passed away. So it became like this huge movement, and people were, after the Civil War, really trying to contact their relatives. Spiritualists would attempt to contact the dead usually with the medium. And a medium is a person who has the ability to contact spirits directly. Some mediums would go into a trance-like state, while others claimed to cause different paranormal physical phenomenons like materializing or objects moving. Materialization is when a ghost/spirit appears in bodily form to show the spirits are here, announcing their presence. So like, it's like when you see like those old people at a table and they have
the others.
Yeah, and then like a body will appear or something like that. That would be materialization.
Or Beetlejuice too.
You know what? When I think of spiritualism, I think of The Haunting of Connecticut.
Actually, I didn't see that movie.
Yeah, it was kind of weird.
You watched it without me.
No, I watched it with you.
Really?
Yes, and maybe just don't remember it because there are movies that me and you have watched, and I don't remember anything that was done in that movie or said.
Yeah, I don't remember that movie.
I just remember the one part that really grossed me out was that like plasma stuff coming out of their mouth.
Yeah, that sounds disgusting. Yeah. I don't remember that.
Girl, I don't know how you could forget that. I wish I could. Mediums would attempt to communicate with spirits by turning tables. Turning tables by table turning.
I was thinking about Adele turning tables.
And table turning is when participants would place their hand on the table and wait for it to vibrate or rotate. Girl, I'm not even gonna lie to you. If that table rotate, I'm rotating out that door.
Rotate. Play with it.
I'm not playing with nothing. The inventor of the 1886 Ouija board remains a debate. Some credit E.C. Reich, while others say it was Charles Kennard who had created it. It is believed that Reich sold his invention to Charles, although Reich claims that Charles stole it. So we don't really know who invented the first Ouija board. The first commercialized Ouija board, because I feel like there were still, I mean, there were boards that people were using. They just weren't called Ouija boards.
Why is it called Ouija?
You know, I read something that said that it was these people are using the board to communicate. I didn't see enough sources that said the same thing, but these people were using the Ouija board and they asked it what to call it, and it spelled out Ouija, and I can't remember what Ouija means.
And we just been pronouncing it wrong this entire time.
Matter of fact, let's see what Ouija means. Give us a second. So it says the popular belief that the word Ouija comes from French, which is oui, and the German ja word for yes, is a misconception. In fact, the name was given from a word spelled out on the board when a medium, Helen Peters Nosworthy, asked the board to name itself. When asked what the word meant, it responded, good luck. So I don't know if it really means good luck or if it's telling you good luck figuring it out.
Probably said, whoever plays it, good luck.
This is good luck, you're gonna need it. But there were other talking boards before the Ouija board was invented, like we said. These boards, however, received messages directly. For example, one board used a dial plate where you pressed your hand on the device and the pressure led a needle to different letters. So that's how they were like communicating.
We should see a movie about that one.
I know, huh?
And have the needle poke through the person.
No. Although we don't know who invented the Ouija board first, Charles Kennard claims that he came up with the idea while sitting in the kitchen of his new house. He placed a breadboard on the table with a teacup on it, and he watched his hand move. I don't know. I guess his hand was just moving by itself. Like, he wasn't controlling it. I think that's what I was trying.
They always say.
You know, it's funny you said that, because I got a scientific fact about that, but we'll get into that afterward.
Yeah, I saw the first episode of Charm.
Girl, bye. But that Ouija board really was moving. Charles' Ouija board had the arc of the letters, a planchette, a yes, no, or goodbye on it, but it had no numbers. The board was first manufactured in the United States in 1980, and the Ouija board grew popular during the wake of World War I, and again during the Jazz Age, Prohibition, and the Great Depression. So, I mean, it kind of makes sense for them to be talking to the dead during those times. Maybe not the Jazz Age, because I'm not really sure what y'all doing. Y'all should be out there jazzing it up. But during the Prohibition and the Great Depression, yeah, okay, I can understand.
Yeah.
I'm not using it, but if you want to, go right ahead. In 1944, a single department store in New York sold 50,000 Ouija boards over a 5-month span. In 1976, during the Vietnam War era, the counterculture era, and race riots in Newark, not New York, I know it sounds very similar, it's a city in Jersey, Detroit, Minneapolis, and Milwaukee, over 2 million boards were sold, outselling Monopoly. That board outsold Monopoly. That's crazy. They was like, yeah, we talking to our dead ones. We don't care about property. And
well, let's be serious. Monopoly, at starting point, is very boring.
Monopoly is too competitive for me. I will beat you down.
And it's a very long game to play.
I will beat you down. Do not make me pay money but land on my properties. Pay me. But in 1973, the board's popularity decreased due to the release of the movie. Can you guess what movie it is?
Ouija board?
No. Drum roll, please. The Exorcist.
Did they even use a Ouija board in Exorcist?
Yes, they did.
Oh.
The Exorcist featured a 12-year-old girl being possessed by a demon after playing with the Ouija board. And after that, the board's occult status was permanent, and it since has appeared in numerous paranormal movies and shows. It has been linked to witchcraft, with fundamentalist groups saying that, quote, the Ouija board reveals information that should be known by God alone, meaning it is a tool of Satan.
You know, it's so funny. He said it was in a mini cult, not a cult, but in those kind of shows. It wasn't in Stranger Things. So stop selling Stranger Things Ouija boards.
Is Stranger Things the cult, though? I feel like it's like...
I
feel like it's like on the verge of sci-fi, because it's like...
Well, season 4 really explored that aspect. So.
Yeah, please don't cover me, you guys, but I only seen the first 2 seasons of Stranger Things.
After
watching Sam die, that's not his name in Stranger Things, that's just his name in Lord of the Rings. I was very hurt. Oh, spoiler alert, sorry.
I know, right? You just spoiled it for everybody. But honestly, this is my hot take. Yes, Sam's death was sad, but mine was Alexi.
I saw that. I know who he is. I saw that death. It was sad.
That one really hurt me bad, because even though we only had like a short amount of time with him, he was like literally my favorite character.
That's crazy.
And 5 seconds later, he's gone.
So I found this scientific fact about Ouija boards.
Is it really a scientific fact?
I don't. They did a couple of scientific experiments. So basically, and this comes from the historyhit.com. It says, controversially, extensive scientific experiments have pointed to the planchette moving due to the phenomenon of the odometer effect, whereby individuals make automatic muscular movements without conscious will or volition, such as crying in response to a sad movie. Newly emerging scientific research points to the idea that through the Ouija board, we are able to tap into a part of our unconscious mind that we don't fully recognize or understand on a surface level. So it's basically saying that, like, unconsciously we're moving the planchette. I don't know, because I've never played a Ouija board. Don't ever plan with it. Don't play no Ouija boards. And I don't know. I never played a Ouija board. I wouldn't know.
I don't know, but in the movie, the Ouija board experiment, she asks the ghost, "Hey, is my boyfriend cheating on me?" And the ghost gonna say yes, and that ghost was starting stuff because we actually don't know.
But if you're asking the scientist, the boyfriend was unconsciously.
Well, he wasn't there.
Oh well, then yeah. Girl,
yeah, it's just the girlfriend and his friends were there.
His friends knew.
She asked when the boyfriend was there. Obviously, if he was there, he'd be like, "Why are you asking that question?" But honestly, I think that ghost was just starting stuff. He's like, "I'm gonna mess up their relationship."
Well, maybe he wasn't like trying to mess it up. Maybe he was like, "Girl, I'm about to help you because your man is out here slinging penis." And so that's the Ouija board. So what do you think? It's a little brief history on it. I don't want to bore us with a lot of Ouija board talk.
Ouija boards are bad, and I will never, ever touch one.
I'm gonna say this. I'm not gonna tell you not to play the Ouija board. Don't play the Ouija board. But I'm saying this. If you play the Ouija board, which you really shouldn't, but if you do, just understand that you were tapping into something that you may never be able to comprehend, and I would recommend it.
Like, if it doesn't work, you wasted your money. If it does, you got a demon on your butt.
Right. So it's like... All right. So I have a story for you. It's not super creepy. It's an interesting story. And it comes from the No Sleep Reddit, because everybody knows that's my favorite Reddit thread. And it's called World Away Tweety.
What?
That's what it's called. And it says, the title is, "Me and my friends are using a Ouija board for the first time. It keeps asking people to leave the room."
That's a very long title.
Also, that's a red flag. I'm using this post to chronicle the events of this evening, as they were truly fascinating. Some quick backstory. The small section of the city that me and my friends live in is generally known to be haunted. And even if you are not a believer in the supernatural, it's at least a bit scary. I'm not going to dox myself by stating the location, but let's just say that creepy sightings and murders/deaths due to unexplainable circumstances are our bread and butter. I don't want to live there, if that's what you're known for.
And you're gonna use a Ouija board.
Right.
After knowing all of that.
It's like, I've looked at this thing and I actually might cover it. It's called ley lines, and it's like different places fall on those ley lines, like the Bermuda Triangle, Mount Shasta,
not the soda.
Not the soda. And like those type of places, they have like spiritual, I don't know what you would call it.
Yeah.
Some form of energy. And those places, I would probably recommend you don't play with any occult type things, but hey, y'all do what y'all want. For most people, this means you move away as soon as they can. For folks like me and my friends who absolutely love all things spine chilling, it generally makes for a pretty good time. Our Halloween parties are awesome. Most of our drinking nights have some sort of spooky game interlaced into them, and if you have literally nothing to do on a Friday night with your friends, you can go on a tour of some of our haunted locals, graveyards, abandoned buildings, creepy forests, you name it. So with the background established, let's cut back to tonight. Me and my closest 3 pals decided to try our hand at using a Ouija board. We are going to be normal and try the Ouija board in one of our family attics.
Yeah, you gotta be normal. How about you go right outside, or just go to bed. Normal isn't use a Ouija board.
Ooh, go hunting for melon heads.
No. That's why that cop got killed.
But he wasn't hunting for them.
Yeah, but he had to save those evil teenagers.
Why are they evil?
Because they got the cop killed.
Nah, too basic. We instead decided to trek up together to what I do not is an abandoned treehouse left in an elevated section of our city surrounded by forests. What could go wrong, right?
A lot of stuff. A lot of stuff could go wrong, y'all.
We climbed up to the treehouse, set down a spooky themed rug, lit some candles, and bought out the Ouija board. Despite my pretty extensive resume of dealing with all things creepy, I had never actually tried a Ouija board before, so I was really excited to see what would happen. We went into this excited to break every rule in the book. Sorry, that was not in the story. We weren't going to do a seance. We were going to ask whatever we want, and we didn't need to worry about being respectful to the spirit.
I mean, that's still a seance if you're not respectful.
We're just gonna disrespect the spirit tonight and see what happens. We figured if something interesting were to happen, it would be more likely if we went into as carefree as possible. We sat in a circle around the Ouija board and got started, asking a simple question: is there a spirit with us? With all of our hands placed on the planchette. No real response. We fluttered the planchette in a few different directions, but we could tell we were kind of forcing it. We asked a few other questions. What is your name? When did you die? Etc. But nothing came out of it. After trying for the next half hour, and not really getting anything in the form of a response, we decided that we probably didn't have any spooky luck tonight and opted instead to share scary stories in the treehouse. We left the Ouija board out just in case we'd get lucky later in the night. Amidst a break in our storytelling where everyone was grabbing drinks and snacks from their bags, I decided to give the Ouija board another quick go. I placed my hand on the planchette alone and whispered the following question: will you please grace us with your presence tonight? Surprisingly, the planchette started moving. It was hard to explain, but you kind of know when something is moving on its own versus you sort of subtly and subconsciously moving it with your hand to force an answer. Well, tell the scientist that. This felt real. A tingle went up my spine. It was cool as hell. My hand was moved to the following letters: YES.
Wait, is there already a yes and no on the Ouija board?
Yeah, I know. Why he do that? Why he over here spelling it out? He's like, look, you're gonna spell tonight.
Maybe
I was a spelling bee champion.
They got the old version, not the updated version.
Awesome. I looked over to the group and told them that I looked over to the group and told them that the Ouija board was working again. Excitedly, we all huddled around and placed our hands on the planchette. I followed up with another question: where are you from? We sat there excitedly waiting for something. Instead, nothing. The planchette was still. The lack of any sort of external force with us was very, very obvious. Disappointing, but I had an idea. I wanted to follow up with it. I turned to my friend Kevin and asked him, do you want to try doing it solo? It worked for me.
No!
Well, guess what? Kevin was confused, but he decided to give it a try. We all backed up to give him some space with the Ouija board. He placed his hand on the planchette and repeated my question: where are you from? His expression changed to shock as his hand started moving with the planchette. He turned to all of us and mouthed, I'm not doing this, to which I excitedly mouthed back, I know. I pulled out a notepad and recorded the answer as the planchette went from letter to letter. I recorded the following: not important. Love it, a spirit with some sass. I asked Kevin this person is just so enthusiastic about this spirit. I asked Kevin to back up for a second as I approached the Ouija board. Prepped for one final solo question, I asked, why are you only responding when it's one of us using the board? Yet again, the planchette moved effortlessly with my hand. It was faster this time, so I said the letters out loud and had one of my friends, Eleanor, transcribe onto my notepad. The answer was, one at a time. Fair enough.
I didn't answer the question.
I know. Fair enough. I thanked the spirit. My hand's still on the planchette. They don't give a care. They don't care. I appreciate your answers, friend. To my surprise and a strange synergy between me and the spirit, I felt compelled to move the planchette again. It was the fastest it had ever been this time, as it covered the following letters: tell everyone else to leave. Huh? My friend looked at me skeptically. I said the letters at a time. Are you sure you didn't force that on purpose? Asked Eleanor. Oh, her name is Eleonora. I'm sorry, you guys. Who cares?
Who cares?
Just kidding, Eleonora. I assured her I definitely didn't. That was definitely from the spirit. At that point, this had been the most clearly supernatural phenomenon I'd ever experienced in my life, and I was excited to keep it going. My friends, usually unflinching and made of ice, were a little bit thrown. Eleanor and Martin looked ever so slightly spooked, but Kev was willing to go with it. Might as well see where this goes, said Kev as he started climbing down the treehouse. With a slight bit of hesitation, Eleonora and Martin followed suit. Sweet, an actual creepy night. I embraced the quiet amidst the lighting of candles and the power of the Ouija board. I geared up for my next question. I wasn't gonna hold back. Spirit, how will I die?
That is the dumbest question. You never ask that question. If you're gonna use a Ouija board, never ever ask that question.
Because when they say soon, tonight, with a knife in your back, you're gonna freak out. I took in a deep breath, waiting for some movement, slowly. Depends. Interesting answer, if not a bit underwhelming. I geared up for my follow-up. Oh, come on, Spirit. What about something a bit more specific? My hand moved with the planchette to the following letters. I tried hard to focus and connect the letters since I didn't have anyone to transcribe them with me. What is your name? Weird. Completely dodged my question and asked me my name. Okay, all-knowing Spirit. I assume you already know that. I decided to try tricking it. My name is Belle. Movement from the planchette and the Ouija board. It took me to the letters, do not lie. That's scary.
I mean, I feel like when your friends already said your name out loud in front of it.
That is true, right? Well, actually, wait. What is this person's name?
Oh, yeah.
We don't know his name. Well played, Spirit. I gave the Spirit my actual name, Jennifer, and continued to see the follow-up response. What is your favorite food? Honoring the Spirit's rules, I opted to tell the truth instead of following up with another lie. Your girl loves...
Your girl loves...
What did she put? Your girl loves Donair, and this Spirit deserves to know that. Ouija Boards respond, correct. Before I could take in affirmation from the Spirit, who is asking who questions here, Spirit? It followed up with yet another question. What is your biggest fear? Do not lie.
Would you already know?
I'm not answering that. Why would I tell a Spirit what my biggest fear is?
Yeah, I'm not answering that.
Me neither.
I don't even know.
I'm not doing this, but thank you. This question took me aback a bit. I wasn't really afraid of anything, or so I thought, so I struggled with it. It took me a few moments. I really thought of it. I kind of cringed at the answer, but it was my truth. Something horrible happening to my little brother. No movement from the Ouija boards. Seconds turned into minutes as I kept my hand awkwardly placed on the planchette. Then finally, thank you, send Eleonora. Well, I obliged. I thanked the Spirit for his time and decided to climb down from the treehouse where my friends were waiting. I passed on the Spirit's message and told Eleonora that it was her turn.
Okay, I'm not going.
I would have been like, pass. Martin, Kev, and I spent what must have been 15 minutes standing outside the treehouse while Eleonora was up there. We pulled drinks out of our bags and were discussing my experience with the Ouija board so far. Both were incredibly surprised when I told them that the Spirit was asking me questions. What kind of questions? Generic stuff like my name, favorite food, etc. I answered, weird. Both Kev and Martin, sorry, it put Kev, so I'm gonna call him Kev. Both Kev and Martin seemed a bit thrown off by it, but I was excited. This is just too many red flags. Like, you're the only person who's really having like the best time right now. Everybody else is really creeped out. We looked up at the treehouse as we heard the sound of someone climbing down. Eleanor had finished her session. She looked traumatized.
I told you Eleanor gonna be all messed up from her session.
How was it? I asked. Weird. All it did was ask me questions. Questions like, Kevin asked her, my name, my hobby, and my biggest fear. That one took me a while to answer. Kev turned to me. That is a little bit eerie, he said. I agreed. Didn't look like Eleanor was loving it either. But still, a Spirit asking us questions? This had been one of the coolest, if not the coolest, paranormal experience I've ever experienced in my life. Eleanor turned to Martin. It said you were up next. Martin's session seemed longer than the others. We stood outside drinking, talking about the happenings so far, and pulling out the occasional snack. That was a little bit traumatizing, said Eleonora. I agreed. This is kind of messed up, he said. Yeah, but that's the point, I responded. We seek out spooky happenings all the time and we never get lucky. This is actual legit supernatural experience. I feel like we have to take advantage of it. You know, this person, Jennifer, she's giving me the same vibes as, what's her name from As Above, So Below, when everybody was like, look, this is a bad idea. Yeah. And she's just like, yeah, let's keep going deeper. Like,
or the girl from, what's the one with the hand?
Oh, Talk to Me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's like there's always that one person like, let's just push it even farther. Like, how about we just not? Even if it's asking us personal stuff, what does it want with this info? Followed up Eleanor. I shrugged. While the biggest fear question was pretty weird, I didn't feel too worried that the Spirit knew my favorite food was or what my name was. Our conversation was interrupted by the sound of someone climbing down from the treehouse. Martin had finished up his session. It felt like it had been 30 minutes, which topped the rest of our sessions. We bombarded Martin with questions as he reached the ground. He looked more shell-shocked than Eleanor did. That was pretty effed up, he said. What did it ask you? I asked enthusiastically. My biggest fear, Martin responded. It was weird, but it felt like it didn't like my answer to that one. It almost seemed annoyed. Huh? So what? It's just silent for a while after that? I asked. No, it asked me way more things after that. What was my happiest moment of my life? Who was I the most jealous of? What was my biggest life dream? What my biggest life dream was? All that stuff. It was a lot of questions. Then, finally, it wrapped up with thank you, and that was that. Martin turned to Kevin. You're up next. Kevin turned to all of us.
Like, hell no!
Kevin turned to all of us. Here goes nothing, he sighed, and started climbing up the treehouse. We watched him make his way to the top. For the first time in the evening, I had a knot in my stomach. Finally, Jennifer. Only 5 minutes had passed since Kevin first went up, but then he was already climbing down. He was shaking his head as he made his way down the ladder to our group. That, said Kevin.
Yep, that's my man.
What happened? We asked him. He shook his head. This shit is dangerous. We need to get the out of here ASAP.
You just not got that.
I'd never seen Kevin like this. He was uncharacteristically shook. You have to tell us more. What did it ask you? What did it say? But Kevin ignored all of our questions. He started packing up his bag. You guys can play with fire if you want to, but I'm out of here. I suggest you guys come too, he said. I watched as Martin and Eleanor started packing up as well. I had bad feelings throughout this whole thing. I think we should just leave, said Martin. Guys, what the hell? Just because it's unsettling doesn't mean we have to pack up. Yes, it does. We can just hang out up there and do something else, I said. That doesn't feel right, said Eleanor. I watched them as they all took the few steps away from the treehouse towards the forest. You coming? Asked Kevin. I stood my ground. Kevin shook his head and started heading out on his way. Suit yourself. I had no idea what could have possibly happened up there that would have shook him this much. He already started walking as Martin and Eleanor pleaded with me to come with them. I said no. Begrudgingly, they all left.
Oh my God, Jennifer.
You're probably wondering, wasn't I scared, especially now that I was alone? The answer was yes, but something in my soul told me that I was up next. I spent my whole life waiting for something that was truly supernatural to happen, and now it was in front of me. With my fingers jittering, I climbed up to the treehouse as my friends departed. It took me a moment to put together the bravery to put my hand on the planchette. The candles were still lit. Wait, they was gonna leave with the candles still lit though? That's what I'm saying.
It's a fire hazard.
Right. The setting was just right. Finally, I spoke to the spirit again. Why are you asking all these questions? Nothing for a few minutes. Then my hand moved with the planchette slower than usual. The answer was to confirm my suspicions.
What are you suspicious about?
Confirm your suspicions of what? Movement from the planchette on the Ouija board. One of you is not who you say you are. What are you talking about? I heard a blood-curdling shriek coming from the forest outside the treehouse, like nothing I had ever heard before. What the The planchette was moving on its own now. I watched it go from letter to letter.
Wasn't it always moving on its own?
I think without her hand being on it.
No.
That is not Kevin. He's coming back for you. Run. And so I did. The small section of the city I live in is generally known to be haunted. I think I know why. It's time for me to leave.
That's how it ends?
Mm-hmm.
So what? I'm so confused.
Someone said so Kevin is the bad guy who got called out by the spirit. Maybe he did you a favor. That's probably why Kevin was mad. He was like, "You're not Kevin. Like, shut up."
So where's Kevin?
I don't know. I'm kind of confused.
Is he taking over? Like, I don't get it.
I maybe
Like the first time.
Maybe because if the spirit board is telling them that like it's trying to figure out which one of you is not who you say you are, that does make sense and why I was asking so many questions. And it only took Kevin 5 minutes for a spirit board to be like, you ain't Kevin.
There ain't no part 2 up in here.
Someone said the spirit could have been someone murdered by Kevin, but it couldn't be sure. Perhaps it happened in the dark and really fast. Or the spirit could be Kevin, hence why he knows so much about them and was killed by the new Kevin.
But when he already know that Kevin was, he wouldn't have to ask all those questions if Kevin was, Kevin in the board.
Wait, what?
So he said that the spirit that's asking questions is Kevin, right?
Yeah.
But he already would know who he's not because he's asking all the questions.
I wonder if he's trying to get them to know.
But
why wouldn't he just say
alone?
that? Yeah. Oh yeah. Why wouldn't he just? Well, them being alone, it makes sense because then like not Kevin would know that Kevin is asking them.
Not
you know
Kevin.
what I mean? But yeah, it doesn't make sense on why he wouldn't just be like, "That's not Kevin. You need to leave."
Yeah, like especially when they're alone. Kevin, that's not Kevin. Run. That's not Kevin. Run. That's not Kevin.
Right. Someone in the comments put, "I hope your friends are okay. Please keep us keep us posted. And someone put, after listening to the blood-curdling shrieks, I don't think they're okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, probably not okay.
He got them both. Oh my god, this comment says, did you see your friends again? What happened to Kevin? Did you tell other people? And someone else gonna reply, well, he told Reddit. But honestly, I guess he had to survive. Oh, she's Jennifer. I don't know. Okay, Jennifer had to survive for her to write this on Reddit. But she didn't give us a part 2. What's up with that, Jennifer?
Girl, I guess Kevin found her, so.
That's why she get part 2.
Mm-hmm. Part 2, Kevin needs to write because we don't know what happened. So I'm guessing that maybe Kevin got possessed and he's not.
The first time around.
Yeah, and he's not with them.
Oh well, Kevin, you will not be missed because we're all dead.
Yeah. I agree with the comment that said Kevin is a hoe. Well, you've made it to the end.
You must really like the sounds about high-pitched voices and quirky commentary.
You might as well like and subscribe to our channel and hit the bell to be notified every time we drop new content. If you want to follow our social medias, they will be linked in the description box below.
Bye!
Bye, you guys. Spooky season. Don't play with